So hello guys, welcome into our new lecture. So in today's lecture we are going to study about special methods in Python. So basically what are special or magic or dunder methods. So let us see that what are those and why we use them. So basically let us uh, take a directory function, and inside this let me just pass the integer. So this function will give us all the special methods inside our integer. So basically all those functions which are called when we call init or sorry integer, then all these functions are used inside our integer. So these are special methods, double underscore abs double underscore. So these are those, like earlier we had seen in our function as well, where we initialize our constructor, and in our constructor we have to use def and then double underscore, then init and then double underscore. So that was also example of a special method. And let me just show you for string. Earlier we had seen for integer, let me show you for string. For string we have all those methods. These are all magic methods which are used inside our string function. So let me just show you example that here I am going to take a is equal to like 10, and now if I add a plus 5, then we can see that we are getting 15. But this same thing we can achieve through special method, dash dash doubles underscore add double underscore, and then here we have to pass 5, and we can see that we are again getting the same output as earlier we had seen. So this is a special method which is being called in the string. So here we had seen that after a we are using dunder function add, and then we are passing 5, and then it is adding these integers. So let me just show you through our class. So I'm taking a class here and class name as learn, and then in our learn class we are going to define our constructor. So dash dash init. So this is also an example of a dunder function. So here I'm going to print, like I'm going to use self dot and then something like age is equal to, let me just pass age here. So I'm going to pass age. So now let me just execute it, and here if we return, like first we have to, if we want to call our init, then we have to create the object of our class. So let me just create object. So our object of code is equal to learn, and then we have to create an object of our class. Then let me just call the object name and then dot and then the age. So now if we call it, oh, sorry is not, yeah. So you can see that we are getting printed 22, but before calling init, it is also calling a dunder function before it, which is dash dash new. So this function gets called before calling the init constructor. So let me just print here something like this is a new, and let me just print here something like this is init. So now let me just comment out this, so we can see that actually what gets printed here. So let me just comment out. So let me just comment it out here. So now let me just save it, and then let me execute it again. And here when I will create object for class, then this print statement will get printed itself. You can see that it get called before we call the object on our constructor. It automatically printed this is init. But let me just comment this out, and let me just run it again. And now if I run this learn, you can see that it is printing this new constructor before init. So this dunder method is getting called before init. So here we had seen a simple example of that. Before constructor, it is also calling some special methods which are already defined in our class before calling the constructor. So basically this new dunder function is creating instances for each object. And let me just show you another example. So let me just copy this code, and I'm going to paste it here, and let me just change the name of our class. So let me just remove this function and also remove this print statement as well. So now let me just create object of our class to call it equal to learn1. Then here let me just call the object here, just so we want to see that what does it print for us. So it is going to print this some hexadecimal value for us, which is learn.main. So what if I don't want to see this? I want to just print something here, or like I want to remove this hexadecimal. So we have special another function here, which is dash dash str underscore and self, and here I want to print. So I'm going to call the print here. This is string magic call. So basically it is not recommended to call these dunder functions directly, but we have to know about them, that those are available in our programming and we can use whenever it is needed. So let me just execute it again, and let me just run it again. So we can see that we are again getting this hexadecimal, but let me just call print here. So I'm going to print, and inside the print I want to call this object. So code1, and let me just run it. So here we have to return something, so we don't have to print here, we have to return. So let me just return here something, return, and then let me just run it again, and again creating object here. I am going to run it. We can see that we are getting different hexadecimal values for each creation, and let me just print it. So we can see that we are getting a return statement, which is this magic call. So we can see that if we earlier we had used print statement, then it would also have given us something like a string. So let me just comment this out, and let me just show you that I am going to comment it out, and let me again create object of a class. Then I am going to call this hexadecimal, and now if I again call this print, we can see that we are again getting different hexadecimal value as well for this string. So that's it for today. So today we had covered basics of magic functions and or dunder or special methods which are available in our programming, so that we can use them according to our need, but it is not recommended to call them directly. So that's it for today, and see you next lecture. Bye.